What's good? How y'all doing out there? I'm back, yours truly, the one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett podcast. This is episode 150. This is actually Memorial Day, May 30th, 2022. We're not gonna do no Memorial Day special or nothing. I'm not no super like super American wave the flag kind of person, but I will say that if I had to, there's only one other country that I would probably want to live in besides America, and it would be a country I lived in before, and that would be Panama, and it would only be Panama City, Panama. I lived there as a kid. Definitely was no crime or nothing going on there when I was there. Don't experience most of the stuff in America, but when people say America is, a bad country or a terrible country, my next reply is compared to what country? Compared to what? China, North Korea, Russia, Iraq, Afghanistan. You do know there's some countries that, you work where they tell you to work. You pray to who they tell you to pray to. You cry for who they tell you to cry for, and you clap for who they tell you to clap for. North Korea is one of those, So yeah, there's that. I'm not like this, let's shoot off fireworks and wave flags and stuff like that, But I think when people talk about how bad America is, they're delusional how bad it is compared to every other country, and they don't even take none of that in account. They just like America's bad. So what if Somalia is 100 times worse to live? America's, the scumbag country of the world, according to them. That's because, they can't relate to what a person in Somalia can relate to. Like if a person in Somalia comes here and looks at anybody like they're stupid for hating America, they got all the right in the world, because we can't relate. That's the problem. When we say we hate America, that's only because we can't relate to where they're coming from in Cuba and all these communist countries and the lack of freedoms that they have there. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for people to say that until they go there and experience it. But congratulations to the Celtics. They won the Eastern Conference Finals last night. Jason Tatum won the Larry Bird Trophy and whatnot. We're about to get into that, but before we do, let's give you a word from one of our sponsors.
Me and my team, whenever we link up, they go to we drink up. We sit down, relax and have few glasses when there's things to think about. Like I'm nice with the boss when I tend to the bars and I'm not talking drink ups. So tell the bartender that's tending the bar to please pass me a big cup up. And tell that waitress that's waiting on us to put a little ice in it. Now watch the ice become weightless like the spaceships that I be sitting in. No wait and listen, no waiting for that tropical twist that'll take a taste buds. Now taste some. Yo, I insist it's the Gizzle.
I insist. It's the Dizzle. That's right. Do you Dizzle? Yes, I Dizzle. Dizzlebrand.com. Dizzle premium luxury liqueur, mixture of cognac and agave tequila and orange liquor mango mix. Order your very own bottle or bottles of Dizzle brand premium luxury liqueur. Go to dizzlebrand.com. Click on our locations. Click on one of the top 3 links. And you can order your very own bottle or bottles. Must be 21 and over. Shipping and handling is included. Also, you can buy the Dizzle brand merch, which I'm about to be taking over here real soon as they send me the pictures to the new hats and stuff like that. So Dizzle brand merch. You got the T-shirts, as you see, Dizzle. They got the hats. They got the hoodies. Check them out, dizzlebrand.com. Click on Dizzle store. And you can order your merchandise and go to our locations to order your very own bottle of Dizzle brand premium luxury liqueur. Last night's score, it was close. I watched the first half. I knew Miami was going to eventually make it a game. They were down by like 17 points, but they just, grinded until it just winded down to score some, just started to whittle away. So Boston had 100, Miami had 96. Jason Tatum, of course, got the Larry Bird trophy, and I like that. I was wondering, I thought they was going to do Michael Jordan for the Eastern Conference, but I like the fact that it's Bird and Magic, because Bird and Magic really are the two guys that basically took the NBA to where the modern NBA to where it is. I mean, they had a video game, Bird versus Magic. They always had commercials. They really made a big thing. That's the thing. Jordan never had any guy that you could say was his arch rival. It was Bird and Magic. And they set the trend that Jordan just kind of took and ran with it. He took the baton and ran with it. We got 26 points from Jason Tatum last night, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. 9 of 21 shooting. That ain't too good. 1 steal, 2 blocks. You got 10 from Al Horford and 14 rebounds. Them getting Horford back was one of the smartest things they did. 24 and 6 assists and 6 rebounds for Jaylen Brown. 24 for Marcus Smart, along with 2 steals, 5 assists, and 9 rebounds. Marcus Smart has become a really, really good point guard. He's not like a pure point guard, but he's like a defensive guy first. Then he's a pass first guy, second. Then he's probably focusing on rebounds and then he's scoring. Derek White gave you 8 off the bench, and Grant Williams gave you 11. Jimmy Butler gave you 35. We got 25 for Bam Adebayo. PJ Tucker gave you 0. Max Strauss 0 or 8. 15 from Kyle Lowry. Nothing from Tyler Hero. 0 for 2. He played 6 minutes. Yeah, so Miami's gonna have to make some moves. If I'm Miami, you gotta strengthen up your backcourt. I mean, Max Strauss and Kyle Lowry can't be your backcourt. That can't be a NBA championship backcourt as far as I'm concerned. They might need to get Victor Oladipo. I would have started Victor Oladipo. He's a better defender and a better scorer than Max Strauss. Let Strauss come off the bench. Miami's definitely going to have to make some moves. They're going to have to end up thinking about if they're going to pay Tyler Hero. If I'm them, I'm moving on from Duncan Robinson. They paid him way too much money. I'm moving on from Duncan Robinson. Yeah, Miami, they just got to make a little bit of tweaks. But the East is going to be even tougher next year, So we got Celtics versus Warriors. This is something I want to throw out there, though. Even though the Celtics won this Eastern Conference championship, Jason Tatum's not better than Jimmy Butler. I'm sorry. Jason Tatum is not better than Jimmy Butler. I did not see one game in this series that Jason Tatum just clearly just dominated on both ends of the floor. I've seen 2 games where Jimmy Butler just got whatever the hell he wanted, whenever the hell he wanted. And now that I look at Miami is like a better version of Dallas. If Miami had Brunson and Dinwiddie, I would argue that they would be in the Eastern Conference. They'd be in the finals right now. So, Miami has to make some tweaks. But they're almost like a better version of, because they only got one guy that's really the guy night in, night out. Tyler Hero just showed you playoff time. He ain't done much this playoffs. Bam Adebayo didn't do much. I don't know if you might want to move off from him too, man. I don't know. I just don't know, man. I didn't see enough from two or three guys that are getting that should have just gave you a hell of a lot more. Tyler Hero didn't show up. Duncan Robinson didn't show up. Bam Adebayo didn't show up but one game. And that was the game Jimmy got hurt. He had no choice. But yeah, congratulations to the Celtics. I don't really know who to pick in Celtics versus Warriors. This is going to be a good one. Because this is the thing. Who's the Warriors' best two? Clay and Steph. Well, they could dominate on offense, but they're not doing jack shit on defense. Klay Thompson is nowhere near the defender that he once was. And he's really nowhere near the offensive threat he once was. I haven't seen it yet. 135-point game doesn't really make me say, oh, Klay's back. So then I look at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Celtics top two. Well, they're two-way players. They can do as much on offense as the Warriors top two, and probably 10 times more on defense. And then I look at who's the better defensive team. It's clearly the Celtics. Warriors got some defensive weaknesses. They definitely do. I mean, if Luka has a second All-Star on that team, Warriors ain't even in the finals. Just like if Jimmy Butler has a second All-Star on his team, Celtics are not in the finals, you know? Like, you got a team with two legit All-Stars beat a team with one legit All-Star. You should. Every day of the week. You know? So, Miami's going to make some tweaks. Maybe a little bit more than Dallas. I mean, Dallas was in the Western Conference Finals. They beat the team with the number one record in the NBA, you know. So yeah. I want to get into something I saw with the podcaster named Jivian versus Hassan Pike. So this cat Jivian, you could YouTube it. I watched Album Preach react to it too. So this black podcaster or YouTuber podcaster goes to this town, and this town is basically, quote unquote, supposed to be the most racist town in America. How does one decide that? I don't know. Well, so the guy goes there and he's dressing like he's straight from the hood. Wife beater, do-rag. I mean, he's trying to dress as stereotype as possible to try to get people to show their racist colors. And this guy is literally looking all over this town for racism. And everywhere he goes, he just can't seem to find it. And what he comes to find out is it's not that the town is racist. It's that a Klan leader lives in the town over, and he used to live in that town. And apparently there was a video of him making racial remarks to somebody with a Black Lives Matter sign up in that town. And so basically one hypocrite was making racial remarks to another hypocrite. Let's throw that out there. Which hypocrites are hypocrites to me. It doesn't matter if they're racist or not racist. They're hypocrites. So he goes to this town, and what he comes to find out is not that the town is racist, but they have a Klan leader that lives there. So he goes into Walmart, and he's asking people, like, he finds out the name of this Klan leader, and he's asking people, do they know this guy? And most people are like, nah. So finally he's like, you know what? He just announces out loud, like, yo, I'm trying to, find anybody that knows this guy, Mr. Rob. I think that was his last name. Mr. Rob, and he was like a Klans leader. And finally, some redneck looking white dude comes up to him and like, hey, come here, I'll tell you what you want to know, but like, let's come over here, talking a little secrets. So the guy was basically saying, yeah, I knew Mr. Rob. I grew up with his sons, but he probably ain't gonna give you no interview. Da 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 da. And so somehow this YouTuber Jivian gets these two white high school kids to take him on Mr. Rob stays. And they pull up to Mr. Rob's house, and some redneck looking old white dude comes out, and they're trying to get an interview with Mr. Rob. And boy, he tells the guy Jivian, that's not gonna happen because he's busy trying, I guess organizing a rally, a Klans rally. So the guy Jivian sits there and talks to this old white guy for 45 minutes. And they have a civil conversation, a very civil conversation. The white guy explained his views, his points. He was very civil about it. And then you got this guy, Hassan Pike, this clown cracker, I'm going to call him. This clown of a cracker goes in and tries to criticize Jivian and tries to tell Jivian he doesn't know what racism is. Like, when a white person tells a black person you don't know what racism is, I mean, you don't have a fucking leg to stand on. So Hassan Pike, this clown of a cracker, is sitting there, shitting on this civil conversation because he's like, you can't have a civil conversation with these people because they're racist. Well, guess what, Hassan Pike, you clown cracker? Well, you can't stop. You can't. This idea that you're gonna, first of all, when I hear people say end racism, okay, they must only mean end racism as far as racism in institutions. Because if your idea is that you want to end racism by stopping all people from being racist, well, first of all, that's impossible. It's mathematically impossible. First of all, it's mathematically impossible. There's too many people in this world for everybody to not be racist and just love each other. So let's get out the way. We're too overpopulated for that. We got too many differences. There's too many people that have hate in their hearts. And you're not going to stop a racist from being a racist by calling him a racist or calling him a white supremacist or anything of that nature. So Hassan Pike, you're a complete idiot, a jackass, and a moron. The only way you're going to stop a racist person from being racist is having a civil conversation like Daryl, what's his name? Hold up. Hold up. What's his name? Daryl something. Daryl Davis. So Daryl Davis is a blues jazz musician who has converted Klans members from the Klan, out of the Klan. They gave him their robes, and they're officially not Klans members no more. The only way you do that is you have a civil conversation. See, this is the problem people don't understand. Being racism always comes from a point of ignorance. And where does ignorance come from? A point of being misinformed or not informed at all. I repeat, being ignorant comes from a place of being misinformed or not informed at all. And most of the time it's both. It's that people are misinformed and they are not informed. So Hassan Pike, yeah, you're a clown of a cracker as far as I'm concerned. You're a clown. Can't even say it right. You're a clown cracker. Hassan Pike is a clown cracker. I mean, no white man should be ever telling a black man out of his mouth, you don't even know what racism is. Well, Hassan Pike, you don't even know what racism is. And you don't have any clue of how to convert people from being racist. If you think you're going to just end racist by just killing racists, that's basically what that's probably what you're thinking. You just kill all the racist people and you end racism. No, that necessarily doesn't work. That isn't necessarily going to work, because then there'll just be more racist people come after them. The way to stop people from being racist is to properly inform them, to take their misinformation and properly inform them and have a civil conversation. Not go into it like, a complete simple-minded fuck like Hassan Pike, who has no real solutions on how to fix any fucking thing if his idea of solutions is to not have a civil conversation. Every solution involves a honest civil conversation. Even if it's a solution you gotta fix yourself. Like, I'm a business owner. I have issues all the time in the internet world, the business world of the internet. And sometimes I have to have a civil, honest conversation with myself on how to fix the solution. Well, guess what? You got to have that with people as well. If you want them to convert from being a racist to a non-racist. This idea that you just call all white people in the world racist, white supremacist people born of white privilege is going to end racist. Well, you're dumber than a fucking bag of bricks. You're a jackass and more a complete fucking idiot. Because that's not how I would argue that's going to breed more racist and more racism by accusing everybody for being a fucking racist. And how are you going to accuse somebody from being a racist that you've never personally sat down with and met? And you have no real facts to go on of them being a racist. So, yeah, Hassan Pike, you're a freaking clown cracker. Jivian, big ups to you, man. Big ups to you. Not only is he bold, because he sat there and asked, could he go to the Klan rally? And the guy's like, nah. Honestly, nah, no, you can't go, But he still went there as a civil person, having a civil conversation. And guess what? He didn't have nobody in that town say one racist remark to him, but this is supposedly the most racist town in America. I can't tell. If it's the most racist town in America, as soon as you walk in, you should be getting called the N-word left and right. Left and right. So, yeah, Hassan Pike is a clown cracker. Yeah, I said it. Call me a racist all you want. White people can call other white people crackers. Just like black people could call other black people the N-word, right? Yeah. Let's not be a hypocrite about this shit. If black people can call other black people the N-word, white people can call other white people crackers and honkies and white bread and mayonnaise, mammals, like as Charlemagne the God would call some white people mayonnaise mammals. I think that's the funniest one, though. It's like the funniest racial term I ever heard. Mayonnaise mammals. I'm sorry, I gotta laugh. And guess what? I don't get offended when Charlemagne the God says mayonnaise mammals. You know why? Because there's a lot of things I agree with Charlemagne the God with, and I have a lot of respect, a lot of love for Charlemagne the God. I know Charlemagne the God isn't talking specifically to me. All right, so I'm going to get into another word from one of our sponsors, and I want to get into this last little topic of the day.
Are you a musician looking for music marketing and promotion? Then look no further than Promo Palace LLC, your one-stop shop for all music promotion services. Services include Spotify playlist pitching, YouTube video promotion, record pool promotion, blog placements, radio airplay promotion, SoundCloud promotion, and much more. With over 2,000 customers and over 10 years of experience in online promotion, Promo Palace LLC is a company you can trust. For more info, please go to promopalace.biz. See you there.
Isn't she beautiful? Of course. That's my spokesperson, Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. Like she said, if you need market promotions, check us out, promopals.biz. We can promote your music, product, brand, or service. We do SEO, press releases, blog placements, playlist pitching, TikTok influencers, Instagram influencers, record pool placements, and much, much more. Check us out. Your one-stop shop for all promotion. All right, let me get into police reform and school safety. I saw a video that Officer Tatum was reacting to in New Mexico. See, this is what school safety looks like. When you go to like Officer Tatum, YouTube him, Officer Tatum, you see a video basically talking about every school should do this. So basically at the school, they showed at least 3 people in the school, principal, a couple other people that were carrying like 45.6 or 9 millimeters or something. One of them's got them in what looks like a Bible book, like the Bible cases you put the Bible in, but it's actually got a gun. They had a school that had this. They would do like instead of fire drills, they would do a drill like when people were shooting, like at a school or something, where the kids would go behind this red line. They would grab their desks and sit the desks up sideways and get behind the desk and behind the red line, so the desk would be blocking the gunshots. Then they had it where if this specific alarm went off, all the classroom doors would lock, so no offender could get in. Then they had it where this hot steam or hot smoke would come out the roof of the ceilings. They had a camera all down the whole hallways. These cameras were monitored by the school and the police, the sheriff's department. They had these boxes on the wall that would have these specific alarm things on them. This is what this is what school safety looks like. This idea that less guns, less civilian guns, less civilians having guns leads to less crime and more safety is horse shit. It's bullshit. I'm going to tell you why. Nobody thinks about none of these things past their own fucking ass. They don't think past this shit past their own ass. When you sit there and think about, all right, when you sit there and make a statement, oh, well, we need to take everybody's guns away. Well, first of all, when they make that statement, they're only talking about taking legal guns away. Why is that? Because they already know who has guns legally. You don't know who you can't take away all the illegal guns unless you're just gonna stop and frisk everybody. You're gonna search every freaking house in every fucking city. You're not gonna get all the legal guns. So if you take away everybody's guns that have their guns legally, well, guess what? Now the criminals are just gonna run wild with all the fucking illegal guns and fucking run up in our houses and shoot and kill us and rob us at gunpoint in the streets. Go rob every grocery store, every convenience store. You jackasses don't think about this shit past your own fucking asshole. You just get butt fucked in your feelings with this shit, and you don't even fucking think about this shit sensibly. So taking away guns legally is never going to be a solution in America, because now you're leaving us all vulnerable for all the fucking criminals with all the legal guns to just rob and kill and steal. Well, that's real fucking smart. That's fucking brilliant. That's some genius ass shit right there, if I ever heard it. So that's not the solution. Taking away the guns is not going to lead to more school safety. I would argue we need more civilians with more guns in schools. Yeah, they don't have to walk around like Rambo or Commando or a cowboy showing a gun on their hip. They can have it, hidden and stuff, as long as they got a license to conceal. But and they ask the kids at the school, do you feel more safe knowing your teacher has a gun? How many do you? No, they said, how many do you feel more safe knowing your teacher has a gun? Every last one of them raised their hand. Every last one of them. And then there was one school or county that said, They showed a picture. If you want to come after our kids, this is what it's going to look like. And they got two cops going down the hallway with look like M16s or something. That's what it looks like. But according to the pro-choice movement, that's not what it looks like. See, this is where Democrats always fuck up with these movements. Because their pro-choice movement, according to pro-choice, my body, my choice, that's what my body, my choice looks like. A bunch of cops scared to go into school and risk their lives because they don't get paid enough and they only got 9mm. Y'all want cops to have, y'all don't even want cops to have guns. Y'all don't even want cops to have tasers or nightsticks. Y'all expect cops to go out there and police with their bare hands and knuckles. That's what y'all really expect. And you're not going to sit here and tell me that that's not what Democrats want and expect. Anybody tells me otherwise is a bold-faced liar. You're a compulsive liar. Democrats' idea of police reform is policing with bare hands and knuckles. No nightsticks, no tasers, no guns, nothing. Their idea is police not even pulling anybody over and stopping anybody for any kind of crime. That's their idea of police reform. I would argue we had to put more into this shit. We need to, let me get into this police reform thing too. So we need more money for school safety, which is going to involve more money into policing. So we definitely need probably at least 1 or 2 cops at schools. We don't need them just to be there with 9mm when mass shootings don't happen with handguns. Mass shootings are happening with semi-automatics and automatics. We need to pay the cops a hell of a lot more because, I would argue that none of those cops got paid enough to go in that school with a 9mm. Like this idea that cops are going to go in there with a 9mm and stop a semi-automatic. No, they're not even going to be able to get close enough to this guy. That's why they would have to bring in a sniper or something. That's why they always bring in snipers for this kind of shit. And this idea that a guy should have to risk his life to not go see his kids for, let's look up how much the average cop makes. Okay, California, they make 1,000, but I'm not in California. I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So the average cop salary is $70,000 a year. Cops do not semi-auto, and then this out in everybody's faces that are paid enough to go in there with a crazy dude that killed his grandmother with a semi-automatic. And part of the problem with that is the stats game and this incentive game. How about we don't have police incentives? How about you just include the incentives in their pay automatically? How about you just pay these cops, close to $250,000 a year when they had to go up at a school and try to take out a guy who killed his grandmother with a semi-automatic. See, it's easy for y'all to say what should be done or what you would do. And I know there was a story out there saying the cops tased a parent who tried to run in the school. That's horseshit. And if a parent really wanted to go up in that school and stop the guy, they would have. Because I know I would have. There's no cop on the planet would ever been to stop me. If it was my niece or nephew in that school, there would have been no cop that ever to stop me from going in that school. So this idea that the cops stop the parents, horse shit. The parents Let the cops stop the parents. And what were the parents going to do? They didn't have guns. So you're going to go in there with your bare hands and knuckles and you're going to stop a semi-automatic. Well, good luck with that horse shit of a attempt. That's a horse shit of attempt. What you going to go in there and try to talk him down? Please, I'll pay you. Don't kill my. No. The dude just killed his. And don't get me wrong. The cops should have went in there. I strongly, I'm not going to lie. The cops should have went in there. They should have went in there. But I can't argue at the fact they don't get paid enough to go in there. I can't argue at the fact that they didn't have the right weapons or artillery to go in there. I can't argue the fact that this what my body, my choice gets you. You know, I try to tell people, man. I try to tell people, once you say my body, my choice for any one thing on this planet, you open up the floodgates where you can't be a hypocrite about it now. Anybody can say my body, my choice for anything that involves their body. Like I said, drug users can say my body, my choice. People who cut their arms, cutters can say my body, my choice. You know, you almost could throw in age spreaders because they're both people consenting to freaking sex. And you know, if nobody asks, that's the thing. Nobody asks nowadays before you have sex, do you have a sexually transmitted disease? Do you have HIV or AIDS? Nobody asks that question anymore. You know, so when you throw my body, my choice for one thing in this planet, then you open the floodgates up for anybody to use that. And once they use that, you can't be a hypocrite about it now. And I know people are always going to say, well, cops get paid to. No, cops get paid to protect and serve. They don't get paid to sacrifice their life for sacrifice their life in a situation where they're unarmed and underpaid and they have family to go home to. No, they don't get paid enough. You can sit there and say, well, that's their job. No, I don't know that the job description of a cop is to like run up in a building on a suicide mission. I don't know that that is the cop's job description, to run up in a building with a suicide mission. Part of the job is for him to go home to his family too. That's part of the job description, that he gets to go home to his family too. There's no part in the cop's job description that says that they got to sacrifice, you know, when the parents aren't willing to. Where was the parents running up in there? Like, that's the thing. Where was all these parents running up in the school? It's easy for people to say the cops didn't run up in there. Well, that's what this my body, my choice shit gets you. So let's not be a hypocrite. Yes, it's tragedy. It's so fucked up what happened. But this idea that you can find one crazy psychotic motherfucker that's going to kill his grandmother out of 300 people, 300 million people, even 300, is bogus. Like, nobody can plan for that. Nobody can expect that somebody's going to kill their grandmother and then go shoot up a bunch of kids in the school. And I would argue that everybody should have rushed to school, the parents and the cops together. Like, parents are just pointing the fingers right now. If your parent just sat out there and let the cops stop you from going in, well, I would argue that's a horseshit of a reason. An excuse, my bad. That's a horseshit of excuse, because I just know what I would have done. I just know that I wouldn't have let the cops just sit there and make me have to stay out. I would have literally, if I had to grab a baseball bat or something, if my niece or nephew, I don't have kids, but my niece or nephew were in there, I would have went after him. I would have risked my life for my niece and nephew. But that's my niece and nephew. That's not the cops' niece and nephew. And $70,000 a year isn't enough, isn't paying enough to go risk risk their life for a complete stranger. I'm sorry. $70,000 a year is not enough for me to risk my life for a complete stranger. It's just not. And I'm sorry, most of us are too self-centered in our own lives to play the hero. This idea that we're all heroic in life, that we all have a hero in us, that, you know, yeah, like it's easy to point the finger, parents, when you didn't do nothing heroic yourselves. And I'm just sorry. I'm not going in a building with a 9mm after somebody with a semi-automatic. I'm sorry. I don't care how many kids are in there. I'm sorry. I'm just not risking my life for people I don't know personally. I'm not risking my life for complete strangers that would. It's not like these people would ever risk their. That's what we had to take into account. You're expecting people to risk their lives for people that would never risk their lives for them. And that's another thing. This is what also gets you. This is what happens when you call all cops racist. You call all cops dirty. Like, Democrats have literally bunched all cops up as these dirty, racist people, whether they're black, white, or Hispanic. All cops are bad. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Democrats have not labeled all cops as these scumbags that are out here just hunting people down to kill them. They're just racist. They're just profiling. Every single cop is just a racist guy. Every single cop is profiling everybody they pull over, no matter if they committed a crime or not, no matter if they're riding dirty with keys of coke or illegal weapons, or they're committed a rape or a felony. Oh no, it's gotta be profiling. Well, that's what this gets you. When you call every single cop a racist, scumbag, white supremacist, they're not going to want. Why would they want to do it? Why would I want to do my job after that? Whether you're a racist or a non-racist, you basically gave both of these guys a reason to say, fuck you. Didn't do it. Police yourselves. That's the thing. We've attacked every single cop. We bunched every single cop up together like there's some racist, white supremacist scumbag, and all the black cops are complicit because they haven't done nothing to stop them, you know. Like a guy who just came into the academy, like he could do anything to stop a police commissioner from doing whatever a police commissioner wants to do. You know, it's like the Army. Y'all do know that, right? It's like the Army, you know. It's just like the Army. Let's say you go to the Army and you back talk a sergeant. Let's see what happens. You know. So, yeah, I don't think people look at any of these solutions or any of these things realistically. They look at them from a fairy tale aspect. As far as police go, we probably need lie detector tests quarterly. We need to get ready to the numbers game. See, like, people always want to blame the cops. But let me tell you what happens. And this is fact. What happens is you got a guy who's probably running for mayor. That's a mayor of a city who's probably going to be running for governor soon. And the governor's sitting there like, well, he knows this guy's going to be running for mayor. So what does he do? He attacks this guy's job that he's done in his city. So if the governor looks and sees, oh, arrests are down in this city, What does he do? He basically goes public and hammers the mayor with arrest her down and not doing their job. So what does the mayor do? Well, the mayor gets the stats. Arrest her down. Every time arrest her down, what does the mayor do? He goes to the police commissioner and he complains about arrest being down. Why are they complaining? Because it's a numbers game. It's a stats game. And who are they in cahoots with? The courts. Because also the courts want their stats too. Everybody's trying to get their stats. The prosecutor is trying to get their stats. The judge is trying to get their stats. The defense lawyers are trying to get their stats. Then these stats are, so the mayor sits there and he bitches and complains about arrest her down. So then he goes and bitches and complains to the police commissioner. What does the police commissioner do? Oh, he goes to his lieutenants and staff sergeants and says, arrest her down. Announce this shit before shift that arrest her down. We got to get them shits up. They don't care how you get the arrest up. They just care that you get the arrest up. Why? Because the pressure comes from up high. It always comes from up high. We got to act like the pressure from the police is not coming from the staff sergeants, the lieutenants, the colonels, the police commissioner, all the way up to the mayor, to the governor. Oh, well, who's putting pressure on the governor? Probably Democrats in other states or Democrat presidents are putting pressure on Republican governors because their crime rate. But even though we know that Democrat states have the worst crime rates in America right now, Democrat states are the only ones that let you go up in a store, steal or Democrat cities or states are the only ones that let you go up in a store, steal $1,000 worth of stuff and walk out and not even get a slap on your wrist. So there's that. We gotta stop putting all the blame on the police when all the pressure goes to them. Is being put on them from up high from everybody. So they're just doing what they're freaking told to do. They're just employees doing what they're told to be done. And it's always a stats game. So we need to get rid of this stats game, this numbers game. We need more lie detector tests. We need cops to stay in better shape. Then they don't have to worry about using guns when people overpower them because they eat too many donuts on the job. And the stats game, this is how the stats game works, because we know how it works in Fayetteville. People always be like, well, it's the last week of the month. People are going to be going after their quotas. Because what do? They sit in their car for 3 weeks eating freaking Krispy Kreme and Dunkin' Donuts, drinking coffee for 3 weeks. Like, yeah, I don't got to do my job for this first 3 weeks. But what they do is the last week, they're like, oh, I need 20 pullovers on my quota. So I'm just going to pull 5 to 10 people a day for the next week until I meet my quota. That's typically how it goes because it's a stats game. It's all a numbers game. So first we need to get rid of the stats, the numbers game. Stop going after arrests just to go after arrest for numbers games. Just go after high quality arrests, and that's that. And as far as jail reform and police reform goes, that's a whole other conversation. This idea that criminals should be living in freaking, like 4 or 5-star hotel environments is bogus, bullshit, horseshit. Violent criminals, I don't care what happens to a violent criminal in prison. They get whatever they get. They deserve whatever they get. Non-violent criminals, yeah, we need to have their prisons don't need to be the same as violent criminals. We need to have non-violent criminals, and yeah, they need to have probably more lenience, more things that they can do in there. Maybe, yeah, they should be allowed to have, video game systems and stuff like that. If somebody's buying for them, if they can afford it. But violent criminals, this idea that, prisons are too rough for violent criminals. No, they get what they deserve. They're violent criminals. I don't feel sorry for no rapist, no pedophile. Nobody commit armed robbery. Nobody killed anybody in cold-blooded murder. I don't feel sorry for you one bit. You get what you deserve. Prison shouldn't be all peaches and cream for these cocksuckers. Fuck them, screw them. They're violent criminals. They're scumbags of the earth. Plain and simple. As far as I'm concerned, anybody who commits cold-blooded murder doesn't deserve a second chance because the person you killed does not get a second chance. And armed robberies, you commit armed robberies, you only get one. If you get locked up for armed robbery and you get out and you commit another armed robbery, lock that motherfucker up for life as far as I'm concerned. Because he ain't never gonna stop committing armed robberies, and that's a violent scumbag of a fucking criminal. Lock him up forever. Second time you do armed robbery, life as far as I'm concerned. First time you do cold-blooded murder, life as far as I'm concerned. If you killed somebody in self-defense, okay, that's another story. Even the laws of nature agree with that. You know, and rapists and pedophiles, they never change. They never change. So you could keep them in prison forever as far as I'm concerned. You're not going to tell me a pedophile changes, a rapist changes. No, they don't. Child molesters and pedophiles do not change. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. This is Paul Pickett Podcast, episode 150. These episodes are starting to get a lot longer because I think I'm just getting more and more passionate about these topics and these discussions. And, you know, I just got to make sure that I speak truth and facts and not some bullshit, bogus fairy tale analogy or view or, you know, that just doesn't really exist. You know, because that's the thing. Like these mass shootings, for most part, there was only one mass shooting a year. This idea that you could find one psychotic motherfucker out of 300 million. Anybody thinks that there's any solution for that is dumber than a bag of bricks. I don't care how many college degrees you think you got or you got. You're dumber than a bag of bricks if you think there's a solution to finding one crazy psychotic motherfucker out of 300 million. And another thing, let me throw this out there. People always want to blame the guns. Can a gun pick itself up and go walk out the house and go kill somebody? No, it can't. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. And in all due respect, knives will kill you faster than guns. I'd rather get shot than get stabbed. If you get stabbed, you're more likely to get shanked 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You're more likely to cut an artery or go through an artery and bleed. The only people die of guns because they bleed to death. They don't get to the hospital in time. It isn't the actual bullet that killed them. It's bleeding to death that kills them. Knives will kill people right then and there, man. You're done. Artery cut, you're done. You know, like, so there's that too. People kill people. Guns don't kill people. Once again, I'll thank y'all for tuning in to episode 150, and we're going to end it off with a Paul Pickett Podcast commercial. This your boy, the one and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, a.k.a. Triple P, a.k.a. the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, sport events, and more. Please check me out 3 to 4 days a week on my video podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Rumble. And check out the audio version on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much more. Peace. See you there. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Episode 150, Paul Pickett Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Pickett, a.k.a. Triple P, a.k.a. the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. Peace, and I'm out.